Hello, my name is John Vasquez, and I am currently the Executive Director for Graduate Studies and Research at Colorado State University, Pueblo. I'm lucky in my job because for the longest time when the NSF HSI STEM Hub first created, I was kind of a lurker. I didn't work at an HSI, I worked at emerging HSIs. But I still benefited from the HSI STEM Hub by just looking at resources and whatnot. And that now that I'm actually at an Hispanic-Serving institution, I really get to kind of get the full benefit of the hub in terms of being able to utilize a lot of the tools that they have. My journey to becoming an executive director of grad studies and office of research really started, I would say, as a kid. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I was from the West Side, so there weren't a lot of scientists. There weren't a lot of role models in terms of what it looked like to be a professor or whatnot. But I had a lot of teachers who were advocates, and they always encouraged me, like, you need to go to college. I also grew up in the 80s and 90s where there was a lot of gang violence. And so in my family, it was really important to think about college as a way of improving our prospects long term. And so they encouraged me to go to college. So I actually went to the University of Michigan for my undergrad. At the time, I didn't know it was a Big Ten school. I didn't know it was an institution that got a lot of research money. And so as a student, I worked a lot with faculty. I did a little bit of undergraduate research, and I just liked the field of academia. I actually planned on leaving higher education before I got my current position. And one of the reasons that I wanted to leave my current position is while I loved my experiences at big research universities, I felt like, again, there weren't just enough people like me. We weren't serving enough students who looked like me and grew up like me. I loved my universities, but I just felt like I needed to do more to give back to my community. My current provost at CSU Pueblo told me about this job, and I went to go visit. One of the first things that I saw is the students looked like me, but not only that, it's in a rural area. And while I grew up in San Antonio, I spent a lot of time with my aunt and uncle on their farm outside of San Antonio. So the area of Pueblo, the students that they serve, where they come from rural areas, it all reminded me of where I grew up. To me, it was really about not taking students out of where they lived, which is what I felt like I did. I was taken out of San Antonio and moved to a suburban school, a big suburban school to go to learn something. We're trying to teach students in the area where they're at, in the rural area, and trying to show students how to give back and contribute. And to me, to be a part of the faculty, to be a part of the staff who are trying to improve a rural area and not, take them into the big city, uh, just feels more like I am contributing to my family, to where I came from. And so to me, it really does feel a stronger connection. So the grant that we're going to apply for is an ANSF HSI grant. And currently in my institution, we actually get a lot of funding from Title III and Title V. We've actually been able to do that for, I'd say, almost a decade getting funding. And that's been really helpful in terms of helping us expand both how we serve students, our Latino students and Hispanic students and all our students. But I think the challenge now has been so what is the next stage and what's the next level? We've been really lucky in that we've had a lot of our faculty be able to engage with STEM students and students in the STEM fields. And so now that we see that participation growing, the NSF HSI STEM grant really is the next kind of iteration for us to really start expanding what we're doing with students in the classroom. The Title III and Title V have really helped us support students outside the classroom. So now this new STEM grant would allow us to really expand kind of some of our academic programs. Some of the activities that have really helped us moving forward are some of the webinars and really a lot of the information and consultations from faculty who do things like evaluations. We have a lot of folks who are good writers, but writing for a grant isn't the same thing as publishing. And so while you can have a great idea, know how to write up that idea really well, one of the things that you're evaluated on grants on is how are you evaluating it formatively and then summatively about what you expect your outcomes are and how do you address that. And so the hub really provides those workshops and through webinars, through articles, but then also there are other colleagues who have these grants. They've been really great in sharing the information that they have. And so that provides us with information, guidelines of how you do evaluation for a grant. I have been, I would say, in the orbit of the STEM Hub for a long time, and I've been able to meet people who have done a lot of the work and sat in on webinars, and so I think I've been really appreciative of the stuff that they've done. But now that I'm at an HSI and an administrative leader, one of the things that I really value is, especially at the conference this weekend, has been the conversation around what should leaders be doing, administrative leaders be doing to help support faculty in STEM and staff. I hope whatever the next iteration of the hub is really around, how to support and how to help administrative leaders, keep it going and keep the work going, because I think that's really key.